Hi everybody, welcome to Readers of the Lost Art. We've got an immediate message in the comment section from Incontinent Jay in Texas not to start.
He needs to drain the bladder.
So we've started immediately just to spite him, because that's what we do on this
Sorry,
channel.
Jay.
Sorry, Jay. Go back to your compound. Anyway, welcome everybody. And the idea was today, I'll introduce them because I never introduced them. We've got James Cox below me. And to the left, we have Stu Gore, otherwise known as Stuart. Why are you calling yourself the protagonist this week, Stuart?
Because I am the protagonist from the Christopher Nolan film Tenet. I go backwards and go forwards at the same time.
God, it's going to be painful, this. So, the rationale for looking at Christopher Nolan's Memento, if I can explain the circuitous route I got to it. When I found out that the Odyssey was coming out by Christopher Nolan on July 17th, I spoke with Stuart, and he's a nerdy film fan, so he thinks it'll be wonderful. I think it's going to be awful, but it made me think of Christopher Nolan's past work, and I think Memento is an absolutely amazing film. So I thought it'd be a good excuse to talk about in preparation for, I'm going to do a massive, probably 24, 25 videos on the Odyssey in the build-up to Christopher Nolan's debacle. And I thought it might be useful for us three to have a chat about Memento, and wherever possible, I'll lob in comments about the Odyssey and why it's going to be rubbish. And I'd be interested in you two are, just to give it context, James and Stuart are much more film nerdy than I am. I've taught cinema in the past, but I honestly think I've got PTSD. I don't watch a lot of cinema these days. I hardly ever go to the cinema because
it's not much to watch nowadays.
Well, people, no. It's not even that. It's people on their mobile phones, people with BO, people making noise. I can't, sorry, I just can't stand going out the house these days. But that's more about me, and it's not a therapy session after all. So what I thought I'd start with is James is going to give us a précis, a summary, an account of what happens in Memento. And people in the comments, please feel free to give him a mark out of 10. And you're allowed to give a minus mark. In fact, I expect you to.
Yeah.
So without any more pressure, James, would you like to summarise what happens in Memento?
Okay, I'm going to steal the synopsis straight off Google. So, in the aftermath of a horrifying crime, definitely. In the aftermath of a horrifying crime, Leonard Shelby remembers nothing more than a few minutes at a time, except the haunting memory of his wife's brutal murder. Now, as he desperately seeks to avenge his wife's death, Leonard can only rely on notes, photographs, and fleeting interactions with a shifting cast of characters he will not recall from one moment to the next. So that's the synopsis, but ultimately
that's not really happened. So,
well, does it? Doesn't it?
Should we spoil it? Because you can't really explain.
That's what I mean.
Spoiling it. That's the problem.
No,
I'm stuck.
Totally spoil it. If people haven't watched it, it's not like it's coming out next week. It's been out for what?
Let's get 4K remaster.
No, seriously, how many years has it been out now?
2001,
26. Yeah, 25, 26 years.
Yeah,
2001.
So apologies to everyone. We're going to plot spoil like it's 1984.
Well, it is a really, in my opinion, it is a genuinely good film. It's one of Christopher Nolan's best, if not his best film, in my opinion. And that's saying something because he really has had an amazing and awesome mark on Hollywood and entertainment in general, for good and for bad, because he's highly regarded and highly trusted, I think, as an innovative and risk-taking filmmaker. And he's kind of stayed away from all the woke stuff, although we'll probably get into that with the Odyssey, because that seems to have kind of shifted a little bit, but we'll talk about that, I'm sure, when we get more into the Odyssey. But essentially, Memento is a revenge story, purely. It's the story of a man that can't remember anything, trying to piece together his life from snippets of what he can remember, the interactions he has with people, which he doesn't know if he knows them or not, he doesn't know if he can trust them or not, and essentially he's trying to piece together what happened to his wife. Did his wife get murdered? And then, oh yeah, maybe she did get murdered. And then, who is the person that murdered? Did I murder it? Didn't I murder him? It's a convoluted, interconnected, Nolan-esque story, because he loves his sort of non-linear narratives. He loves his ending at the beginning, beginning in the middle. That's his forte, as it were. And there's obviously a big reveal in this film, and it kind of, when you go to the film school, they'll probably tell you that, you know, most people don't really appreciate this film after the first watch, or at least they don't appreciate it as much as Ponzi filmmakers like myself, and obviously Stu is really into film and filmmaking as well. So people like us really love this kind of narrative because we can look into the sort of Easter eggs and the sort of hidden messages and things like that you don't really know the first time you watch it. For instance, there's a big one that I wrote down because I completely forgot. Teddy is a big character in Memento. He's basically a corrupt cop, and I am going to ruin it for people at this point because he's a corrupt cop. And like I say, that interconnected narrative, you don't really know if he's Leonard's friend, if he's working against Leonard, and then as the film goes on, you kind of get the sense that he's manipulating Leonard, like pretty much everybody in the film. And there's a big thing that basically Leonard is being tricked into killing people for Teddy. Teddy's a corrupt cop, and you kind of get the sense that maybe the first time they did it, it was actually like a sympathy. Like Teddy took Leonard on and was like, "Okay, I'm going to help you. I trust you that you can't remember exactly what happened, or you can't remember if you were involved in the murder or not, and I'm going to help you solve the crime." And maybe Teddy worked with Leonard to track down the actual culprit and then helped him exact justice. But from there, you can, if that did happen, because again, it's a Nolan film, if it did happen, well, definitely what happened then was Teddy was, because he basically got greedy and discovered that he could get Leonard to be the perfect assassin and literally kill people and immediately forget about it. He then uses him to basically enact justice, or not even exact justice. He basically uses him to then track down other drug dealers, kill them, and then steal the money. And there's a big thing that you don't really pick up in, and it's pure Nolan-esque, is when you watch the film the first time, you don't really notice it. But as you have watched the film, you get to the ending, and if you watch it back, you'll realize, well, Teddy is trying to get the keys to this car that they're driving around in an awful lot. And it's not really, again, in true Nolan fashion, it's not really done obviously. There's kind of little snippets where Teddy's like, "Oh, your window's broken. I can get your car fixed. Let me have the keys. I can go get the car fixed." Or he goes to the car door and goes, "Oh, let's get in the car. I'll drive." And then Leonard holds up a photo and goes, "This is my car. It's not your car." There's things like that. And obviously, what Teddy's trying to do there is get the keys from Leonard because there's a big drug bust. There's a load of money in the car, and he wants to steal it. It's things like that you don't really identify the first time you watch it, but the second, the third, the fourth time you start seeing different plot lines and different aspects of what's been shot that you're offered in the edit that kind of open up the world and open up the story, and hopefully that kind of gives you an insight on what Memento is kind of about.
Before Stuart dives in, can I just characterise the various? I think we should fulfil the roles, so I dispute Stuart claiming to be the protagonist. I think I'm Leonard because I'm senile and can't remember 5 minutes ago. Stuart is Teddy because he's deeply, deeply untrustworthy. And I think you have a bit of a barmaid about you, James. I think you're Natalie.
I can play that role. Yeah, definitely.
So, on just setting everything up for context. So, Stuart, what's your interpretation?
Good. Well, I think it's important because all of Christopher Nolan's motifs, apart from one, are evident in this film. Time is fluid and non-linear. So we actually start the film with the ending, and then we work backwards to work out how we got to the ending. Simultaneously, the color sections of the main story are interspersed with black and white time going forward, where Leonard Shelby is telling the story of I can't remember the guy's name. It's like a very weird name. He's basically telling the story of he thinks he's an insurance broker.
Oh god.
And he what's the guy? Sammy Jenkins or Sammy Janet.
Janet or
Janet's. That's Jenkins. I've got it written down somewhere.
Look on your post-it notes or the tattoo you've put.
I didn't write it down.
I'll come up to my tattoo. Yeah, I didn't write it down. That's really annoying.
I think it's Janet's, isn't it?
It's Sammy. But there's Sammy Jenkins.
It's Sammy Jenkins. That's it. Thank you, Paul.
Like
there's a bit.
Sammy Jenkins. Sammy.
There's a little Easter egg about 2/3 into the movie where in one of the black and white scenes he's talking about Sammy Jankis, and Sammy Jankis is in the hospital and a doctor walks past Sammy Jankis and you see the Leonard Shelby character for it's one frame, which shows you that actually Sammy Jankis is Leonard Shelby. We actually find out the wife wasn't murdered. The wife actually survived, and she didn't believe that Leonard Shelby had this anterior grade whatever it's called, memory problems. So
You forgot the phrase for
I
amnesia.
forgot the phrase, amnesia. That's it. We've got amnesia.
Memory problems.
So yeah, so we've got time. Time is fluid. Time is something that can be played with, which is Nolan's big thing in cinema. The big kind of functional feature of cinema to him that we can't do in real life is we can forward and rewind time. We've got the unreliable narrator. So we have a narrator in all Nolan's films, apart from Batman. I want to just say we're just going to take the Batman films out of this debate because I see those as kind of a separate trilogy that they don't necessarily fit in with his work and his motifs, but obviously they're super popular. That's what gave him the budget to do bigger things like the Odyssey. But we've got this unreliable narrator. Nolan's basically playing with the idea of subjectivity and this idea that we're never really sure what's real and what's not real, which is interesting because in cinema we see everything so perfectly in a typical kind of narrative that we know exactly what's going on. Now Nolan's using cinema to explore how the mind and memory really works, which I think is very, very interesting. Mm-hmm. He also deals with like identity is constructed. So our identities are constructed based on our interactions with other people. Like what we think people think of us, they're going to see something differently. And we see this in Memento, that all the different characters see Len Shelby as someone slightly different. And likewise, he sees them as someone different. The Natalie character, we see her as a potential lover. Then there's a scene where she's saying, I can use you. I'm going to use you for what I want. So she's admitting what she's doing is very similar to what Teddy's doing. Teddy is this, he's kind of this like straw figure. We don't really know throughout the film who Teddy is. Is he a friend? Is he an enemy? He comes across as a bit shady. But the fact, again, spoiler coming up, the fact that the very first shot is a Polaroid picture of Teddy's dead body suggests in advance, it's like, what's going on here. So Nolan used this. I think this is Nolan's most important film, not necessarily better or worse, but it's his most important film because this is where he brings in everything that he develops in his later films, which I find very, very interesting. And he does it so well. It's such a sleek, like sparse, picture perfect, incredible script. I think his brother wrote the script. It was a short story that his brother published.
Well, yeah,
I think
it's not
like
the
in
script.
Esquire
It was a short story.
It was an adaptation,
yeah, Memento Mori, which he then based the film on. But
It
what I
came out
found
after the
interesting
film, though,
about
didn't
that
it?
was, sorry, what'd you say, James?
It came out after the film, so they had the premise.
The
they wrote
story
the film,
did. That's interesting.
and then the story came out after
the film came first.
But don't you find it interesting that the film's called Memento and he's not put Mori?
Yeah, remember to. Yeah.
Yeah, he's not either remembered to or he's deliberately making a bit of an in-joke about not putting Mori in.
Well,
yeah.
More.
Which is also also because if you think of Memento Mori in Latin, remember death, Leonard doesn't want to remember the death of his wife.
Mm-hmm.
So he wants to forget death. Ergo, you take Mori out of the title, Memento Mori. But one thing, I want to pick up one technical thing and then talk more generally.
Yeah,
I think I'm obviously obsessed with psychoanalysis, and I want to explain why people like Jay wet the bed. So I'm always fascinated by psychological interpretations. But of all the films I can think of, this is one of the best. It's why I also think Nolan's a bit like Hitchcock. There are deep Freudian and psychoanalytical themes in this film particularly. So the Sammy Jankis thing is, I would argue, completely imagined. And one, without having to use all these deep psychoanalytical insights, you can prove it's imagined. Because think about the logic of it. If it happened before his wife died and she was assaulted, which it must have, the Jamie Sankis illness and his diagnosis of him as an insurance broker, it would be in his long-term memory because it happened before the accident. And even if that wasn't true, how would the story of Sammy Jankis killing his wife accidentally or on purpose ever be told? Because he can't remember anything and the wife would be dead. So she wouldn't be able to tell people why he did it.
Well, I think it's explained, and I agree with you, Paul. I think this is one of the joys of films like this. It's so subjective, the viewing experience. Nolan never tells us. But I think there's some line in it where he talks about, he says, I think it's to Natalie, he says, I remember long-term things. I remember things that happened in the past. I just cannot form new memories.
Yeah. But just from purely actual psychology, if you've had a serious brain trauma and you've got the type of amnesia he has, you have long-term memory before the trauma. It's post-trauma. You can't make memories.
Yep.
So the Sammy Jankis, let's just pretend it all happened. That series of events was when he was an insurance broker, and
Yep.
would have happened in reality before the assault.
Before the assault, no,
So
absolutely.
his
yeah, I agree with
long-term
that.
memory would have catered for it. And yet he's got a tattoo on his hand saying, "Remember Sammy Jankis."
Yeah.
So that's not right. That doesn't work. So I just think that there are lots of clues as to the fact, and they're not even clues. It doesn't work if you take Leonard at his word that this is what happened. It just doesn't work.
Yep.
But so that's just a specific point. But more generally,
That's a good point.
Yeah, my theory is that, and the whole film's just riddled. I won't bore people because that's what I tend to do normally. So I'm trying to take a break from that. But in Lacanian psychoanalysis, there's the notions of, well, Freud had ideas of how you create defense mechanisms, how you use delusion. And then in Lacan, he took that further. It's also how psychotic people have their own defense mechanisms that are even more severe. And in that, so I'll just give you a very quick sample of it. It's interesting that the tattoo is always pressing a needle into his skin. And there's the link with the diabetic. His wife was a diabetic, or the wife of Sammy Jankis. So you repeatedly see needles giving diabetic insulin doses. And that's almost like Leonard can't talk or use language because he's in denial about his memories. But the memory of the diabetic injections is revisited almost subconsciously through
It's like
the
a
tattoos
bodily memory.
on his own skin. So he can't fully repress that because it's almost beyond his consciousness. So there's loads of... it's just a brilliant film, and it's also the whole notion of memory. We're doing Proust. The idea, the whole thing is about the unreliability of memory, the fact that whatever memories we have are biased by what we want to believe. The idea that... I also love the idea that he represents today's everyman. He basically is today's person who has no memory of the past because no one reads anymore. If you do read, so much of history and culture is excluded because it's been cancelled. So I'm sure when I get into the Odyssey, I'll be complained about Homer is far too white and dead, and he's a man. How dare you? So if you're not allowed to engage with the past, you don't actually have memory. And today, people tend to be in this short-term loop. Let's watch the next TikTok video, which actually replicates... I think he was ahead of his time, Nolan, for portraying the amnesiac type culture we all now live in.
Yeah, I think he's ahead of his time as well. To add on to that, Paul, it's like the Polaroids, the tattoos, the notes, the post-it notes on the sheet. I think Nolan was like foreshadowing, because you got to remember this is pre-iPhone. This was pre-social media to some extent. I think Nolan foretold this idea of our identity lived out in external memory, lived out in images, lived out as something kind of physical. I think in philosophy it's mnemotechnics or mnemotechnics, like externalized memory. So even though it's not, there's nobody in the phone, so nobody in the film with an iPhone or social media, it's very much like he's living his life. He needs external memory, externalized memory to actually remember who he is. And it's so similar nowadays to the influencer culture. People on their phones all the time. Who you are, you're not living in the moment. You're living a digital reproduction of yourself externally through social media.
Yeah, James.
I'm
picking on you because you looked
by
like
the conversation.
you looked like you were too busy looking at text. So I thought, I'll ask James what he thinks as an illustration of people not paying attention. Shame on you.
I joined the chat. I was trying to keep up with it, but no, I agree completely. And I think, again, the only thing I'm really want to highlight is that Nolan is famous for these kind of complex characters and complex, convoluted stories that kind of you don't know where you are. It's uncomfortable in terms of traditional cinema, where you just expect the beginning, middle, and end. And I think the schizophrenicness of the way it's even shot, because I think it's really interestingly shot. The tone of the images, and like you say, that mixture of black and white with color, and then things like the scratches on his face. So the Leonard has scratches on his face that you're not really sure where he got them from, and then as the film goes forward, the scratches become more pronounced, whereas you would expect them, in a linear portrayal, for them to fade away.
Yeah.
And so that obviously is telling you that as you're moving through the film, you're going towards the end that we are expecting. You're actually going back in time. So there's, like you say, that uncomfortableness that you get when, not in terms of like, oh, I'm hurt, but like the sort of jarring, what I'm watching is that what's actually happening. And again, that adds into that schizophrenic, picking on schizophrenics, but that sort of blurring of...
He's not actually, to be a pedantic arse, which I specialise in, he's actually psychotic, not schizophrenic.
Psychotic, but I don't mean, I mean the way that the film is offered to you, the way that the material is offered to you is non-linear and messes with it, but that's the point.
Mm.
Do you think, my strong suspicion, and I've always had this theory, that the more budget you get, the more Hollywoodized things, the quality just goes down. And I watched The Following, which... It's not called The Following, just Following, which was his first ever, wasn't it? And it's basically on almost like a film student budget.
Yeah, he paid for himself.
Yeah, it's all black and white. And the main actor, I don't think the acting was brilliant, but highly entertaining, very well thought out, very clever. This, I think, ironically, is probably the highest he'll ever get in the filmmaking art. Because after that, the higher his budgets go, the more you feed the more of Hollywood and consumer culture. In pure film terms, would you agree, or do you think I'm exaggerating, that Memento what actually was his filmically best film?
I think so. Sorry to jump in there. I just wanted to say that I think that's absolutely right. I think that, and I think it's not just Nolan as well. That quite famously, Kevin Smith, who made Clerks, started with absolutely no budget. And the more money that he got, the worse his films got. So I think it's not just a Nolan trait.
They made a sequel to Clerk, or
There's three, so three altogether. Yeah, the third one's quite sad.
Well, yeah, but explain to me, given that the whole point of Clerks was...
Clerks.
Right, I'll use the Scouse pronunciation.
Come on, that's gagging for a Scouse pronunciation.
Yeah, the whole point of Clerks was it was a novelty. And how do you reprise a novelty? And the other brilliant example of that would be, or the awful example of that, would be Blair Witch Project 2. Whoever gave the budget for Blair Witch Project 2...
Yeah, or Scary Movie 6.
The back of a pub. The thing is, that is just dementedly stupid.
It really is. The thing is with horror, though, there's always been a tradition throughout the whole history of horror. The New Line Cinema and all these kind of like studios that got big off horror. It's like the first film is always the best. I mean, except Friday the 13th. I think Friday the 13th one is I mean, that whole series is a bit garbage, but I mean, Nightmare on Elm Street, Wes Craven's Nightmare on Elm Street, very original, really low budget, but really impactful. Blair Witch is another example. The Exorcist, arguably one of the best horror films, if not of all time. Halloween, absolute classic, but then the more they stack on top of it, it's pure money making.
The Exorcist was lost on me because it just reminded me of an average Friday night in Liverpool when I was young. So... But I believe some people think it's, quite scary. But anyway, go on.
Yeah, the pea suit, I agree. I remember those days.
I remember I was an altar boy.
Oh, no.
Oh, no. It's a different kind of darkness, that.
Yeah.
Quickly moving on.
Quickly moving on to that. But no, I think horror's always had this, the first one comes out. And I mean, Final Destination films as well. I could give you hundreds of examples from horror. But yeah, I think with Christopher Nolan, what was missing from Memento that comes in his later films is the spectacle. He is big into spectacle. This is where we won't get too into the IMAX and the technical stuff, I don't think. But he was big into this intense, huge, large image. That he wants you to be inside the cinematic machine itself. And I think with Memento, what you get is Palme d'Or quality, Tribeca Film Festival, incredibly great indie film that's super, super slick. So arguably in purely cinematic terms, then you could say, yeah, this is his best movie if you're looking at it from, quality indie films. But I think what is missing is...
Hamnet got some awards.
Oh, you're joking.
I can't remember. Sorry, because my eyesight's so bad. I remember looking at the film poster They looked like Palme d'Ors too. And I don't know what particular aspects.
But
maybe
it was
maybe for the film poster, because it certainly wasn't for the bloody film. It shouldn't have been.
it was the director's Chloe Zhao, wasn't it? Was that who directed it?
Yeah, and I don't mean to be culturally ethnocentric, but I will now proceed to be. It's like me trying to do a film based upon Confucianism. I honestly think her inability to properly understand Shakespeare led to the abomination of that film. Honestly, it's truly. Anyone in the chat who liked Hamnet, please leave now, for everyone's sake.
She's got this like auteur kind of style, hasn't she? I think the only one of her films I've seen is Nomadland, which it was good. It was a good film, but.
Well, I'm sorry to go slightly off topic, but then why break the habit of a lifetime on this channel? At the end of Hamnet, have you seen the bit where I actually started? So I was watching it on my own after one too many Guinea, and what a surprise that is! And she touches the character playing Hamlet, and then the audience behind her and the groundlings all reach out, and I started singing "Hands, touching hands."
Reach out and touch me.
Just laughing hysterically, and it was supposed to be the most emotive scene. I understand I've had a empathy bypass or an empathy-ectomy or whatever you want to call it, but it was truly nauseatingly saccharine in a way. And that's what I loved about Memento. Is a pure film in the sense there are no, he doesn't make any allowances for a lazy viewer. Whereas Hamnet is just one example of a fully lobotomized person would probably get bored after a bit of Hamnet because it is so. Well, at this point, James, could you explain why Hamnet's one of your favourite films?
Well, it's just like I just mentioned in the chat. Haven't watched it. Not my bag. No, I'm not even going to wade into that water.
Yeah, we were saying about the other day. It was not.
So was Stuart lying when you said it was your favourite film?
Well, that's a conversation between me and Stuart, and I'd like to keep it that way.
Okay.
No, it's interesting that you should say that about Nolan, because that's kind of there's 2 points just to bring up. The whole thing about how Memento is probably the pinnacle of his career, or certainly in terms of quality of film. But that's kind of the whole budget thing that you mentioned. Well, this next film, the Odyssey, I don't know if you want to tell me to shut up and we'll go on to this later, but the Odyssey is going to be his most expensive film yet. It's his highest budget, $250+ million.
Yeah, that's just for the film, the film stock to actually film damn thing, and it's like insane.
Crazy.
And there's only was it 28? I can't remember if it's 28 or 32. It's around 30. There's only 30 cinemas in the whole world that are actually able to show the film the way he wants it to be filmed, which is crazy.
It's admirable in some ways because he's obviously a big event, big cinema filmmaker. And there aren't many of them. There aren't many that will still, fight that fight. But
he's actually on record of saying, like, I am only interested in making these ultra high budget films now because I am the only auteur that is working in Hollywood that studios give me the blank check. And he said, he says he feels it's his duty because he gets the blank check to do this. I'm going to do it the biggest spectacle possible.
Right.
And
that's
from his lips.
That's one. So just. Let me see if I'm getting this. You think he's done the Odyssey purely for the spectacle value?
I'm kind of getting to that point.
2 reasons. Yeah, I think spectacle value is secondary. I think first of all, he's doing it because the narrative structure of the original text is similar, if not parallel, to what he's been doing in his own films. I truly believe, from what he said, is that he's read the Odyssey when he was younger, and I think it's one of his biggest influences, and it's such an audacious, bombastic project that I don't know if it's hubris, I don't know if it's arrogance, I don't know if it's like he feels he is the one to make this, but I think he believes he's the one to make it. And secondary, he's not talked much about the special effects. We haven't seen any of the special effects scenes, but he was heavily influenced by the Ray Harryhausen films. So I think it's I've got them on Blu-ray. Jason and the Argonauts. And
I was going to say, I really hope it's Argonaut-esque.
Yeah, it's going to be Argonaut-esque. Yeah. Hercules.
Brilliant.
Yeah, just
Jason.
really kind of sword and sandals. Yeah, Jason and the Argonauts. And what was the other one that Ray Harryhausen did? It was a bit later on.
It wasn't Land of the Giants.
With Perseus. With the Hydra and so Clash of the Titans.
That's the one. I was going to say Land of the Giants, but it's not Land of the Giants.
But just very quickly, I think Paul wants to jump in. I can tell very quickly. I think it's Jason and the Argonauts. Do you remember? Nolan said he only does practical effects. He doesn't use CGI. But from memory, it's Jason and the Argonauts. It's when you have Poseidon. Poseidon's basically just a fat old guy in a bath rolling around like this.
Hey, I
That's
don't
the
have
effect.
showers. I have baths, so I'm sorry to put people off in the chat with that mental image, but I might actually
Have you
audition
seen it,
for the
Paul?
role of Poseidon then.
Have you seen the Argonauts, Paul?
Oh yeah, but the original.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I loved it. And the
1960s,
scary,
yeah.
the skeletons battling.
Oh, I loved it.
Oh,
I
it's
loved it.
brilliant. Yeah.
Awesome, absolutely.
And
awesome.
that's one of the ironies about special effects is Jason and the Argonauts. I understand it was when I was impressionable as a kid when I watched it, but I've tested that by watching it again as an adult. And even though the animation is clunky, it's not CGI, it's very old-fashioned, it is genuinely disturbing.
No, it
And for
genuinely
anyone
is,
who's not
yeah.
aware, these skeletons come up out the ground. You want to show a bit of it just for the hell of
He's
it?
not that fat.
Actually, what about copyright issues, Stuart?
should be
No, I think
all
we're
right,
okay. So yeah, fair usage. Look at that.
We're talking about it, aren't we? He's not
But
that
I think-
fat, bless him. He's sucking
I
it
think
in there a little
it
bit.
comes from. I think it's he got the idea from like an illustrated. I think it looks like a wood print version from the 60s, the 1860s. Sorry. Let's see if we can get it up on YouTube.
Yeah, so it's definitely on there. There you go.
Because this is important actually for you got 1960. This is important. This is Ray Harryhausen, and this is important for the Odyssey because this is what he's aiming for, Christopher Nolan.
It's just absolutely amazing. It's all those little zooms and everything. I just love it. I love the old schoolness of it.
What? Another.
The detail on the little models and everything is just,
Oh, it's insane.
I love it. I love it.
I can.
You skip
So
it
just
on a
one
little
after
bit,
It's
yeah.
like the catwalk at a fashion show, isn't it?
It really is. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da.
Get some Benny Hill in a minute. Wait for it.
Yeah.
He's saying, why am I wearing a tea cozy on my head?
Oh, I love it when they jump off in a minute. It's so fun. It's just brilliant.
Yeah.
You gotta love practical effects though. There's just something special about them, especially the old
Yeah.
school ones. You know the.
No, I do
the whole Charlie
encourage people
Chaplin
to
thing.
listen
Brilliant.
to actually watch it with the sound because it's really quite
It's a
affecting.
solid film. Yeah, it really is a good film. And Clash of the Titans, I think it's second best, but Jason and the Argonauts is, and all the Sinbad films as well. The Ray Harryhausen Sinbad films.
Right, but if I can now, why I question, given how good and what I liked about Memento, trying to link Memento with the forthcoming Odyssey. Memento's so good because I think it absolutely does what cinema does best. It's like an experience. You get to see what it must be like when someone's lost their memory. Although people could just tune into my channel once a week, if they wanted that for cheaper. But there
in
is
real
this
time.
there is this aspect. It's very experiential. It's very it achieves its effects and tells the story at the same time. So the form and the content are combined brilliantly, which is why I just think it's a stunning film. But what the Odyssey, and I'll be love to be proven wrong, but from what we're all saying and from seeing just some of the trailers, and because it's such a blockbuster and because so much money's been spent on it, it's inevitably going to be about the spectacle. And the point about the Odyssey as an epic story, to give you one example, I think it's book 19, and it's the female servant. So the story is Odysseus finally makes it back, and the first person to recognize him, he's come incognito into the house, and he's being washed. All guests are washed, and the servant woman washing, the old servant woman, is it Euryclea? She recognizes a scar that he got when he was a young boy hunting boar with his father. And it's the way it's described, it's brilliant. And then there's the actual temporal act of her recognizing it. And then your point, Stuart, about how Homer replicates, or Nolan replicates Homer's narrative technique. Homer uses that. She recognizes the scar, and then Homer goes on this narrative digression for ages to describe how he first got the scar.
Yep.
Now, when you're, as a reader or a listener, when you're experiencing that with Homer, it's really poignant, and the beauty of it is the fact you haven't got a specific visual image. You, the listener or the viewer, you, the listener or the reader, develop just a vague mental association, and the vagueness of the mental association, to my mind, ironically and paradoxically, is linked to the richness of the experience. And if I'd be assuming, for example, let's just assume he does show that it's quite a seminal scene. Let's say Christopher Nolan shows it, and the minute you show something like that, it pollutes all the experience you've had as a reader, because you're immediately thinking, well, that's not how I imagined it. And it's that the key quality of an epic narrative is that ability to create vague images. And the whole point of IMAX cinema is to create the most immersive, specific, visually affecting images possible. So there just seems to be an immediate mismatch. So that's my argument, that I cannot see it working. I can see it being a brilliant film and an absolute abomination of the original epic. And the fact that those two things can coexist, and the vast majority of people won't notice because they don't know anything about the Odyssey, the original, it really saddens me. I'm going to start crying.
I wouldn't even say it's going to be an interpretation. I think it's going to be a translation between two different mediums. If we could take it to like Marshall McLuhan level, like you say, an epic poem is operating on a completely different way to a cinema as a technology. If we take it from Plato, that writing is a form of technology. So we have the form of the epic poem, but then also cinematic language with different technology related to memory. And I think what's interesting is Nolan is fully aware of this, probably out of any filmmaker working today. This is his big thing. So I think what we're going to see is we're going to see him re-encoding, but I would argue, I'd follow you, Paul, and say he's actually de-resing. We're actually losing the resolution of the original work. Of course, once you translate it into cinematic language, we're going to lose. But cinema has different laws, different temporal laws, which Nolan loves. This is his big thing. Is like the temporal laws of cinema, how time works in cinema. So what I think he's going to try and do is he's going to try and fit that in. But the big issue is the studio executives are going to expect a return. Studio executives know that with the Netflix generation, people are not going to go in. Only real cinema fans are going to go in thinking about this on this level. People are going to go in, oh, I want to see a monster. Oh, I want to see a sword. Oh, I want to see a big explosion. Or, you know what I mean? So what's interesting is like he has to cater for that. But at the same time, he's thinking on the level of an auteur. Whereas in Homer's time, Homer is only thinking, I want to tell the best effing story possible.
Right, but can I give you a counterexample?
Yeah.
And this is good because it segues or returns recursively, just like a Nolan film, back to Memento. But Memento, I did a video on this on my channel just to plug it. But Memento has the ghost of Hamlet in it.
Yeah.
I could bore you all senseless by rehashing, so I won't. But the whole idea is that there's a very slight reference in the original short story by Nolan's brother. I think people call him Jonah. Jonah has in Memento Mori, the short story, he has a one-line allusion to Hamlet. He cites the to be or not to be. Ironically, this guy's in a mental institution, and he riffs on the idea of to be or not to be.
Yeah.
Why Memento works so brilliantly? It's the opposite of Hamlet. Leonard in Memento can't remember anything. For example, Hamlet can't forget. Hamlet can kill people towards the end. It's a bloodbath, but initially is reluctant to kill anyone. Leonard seems at some level to enjoy killing people. So that it's almost like an anti-Hamlet, and there's a play within a play. The Sammy Jankis theme is the mousetrap in Hamlet.
Yeah.
So there are all these analogies you can make, and my point would be the fact that Nolan didn't try to do a direct version of Hamlet is what makes the resonance and the associations work so brilliantly.
Yeah.
It's the ghost of Hamlet, and Hamlet is a play about a ghost.
Yeah.
It works absolutely brilliantly. The minute you actually say, I'm going to do Hamlet, if Christopher Nolan says, I'm going to do Hamlet, I just think, oh, what a catastrophe. So the clumsy point I'm making is you actually achieve the best artistic effects by referring obliquely to something rather than trying to do a rendition, and your point, Stuart, in a completely different format.
Yeah. So how it would work if we were to take that as the template, basically instead of doing the Odyssey, this is Homer's The Odyssey for the screen, you would essentially remake Homer's Odyssey in a different setting. I don't know, like 1920s Prohibition America, or you would take the elements of the plot but do it in a different timeline.
Well, that's one aspect, but the other aspect
Yeah.
that saddens me is that if you know anything about Hamlet, it's not taking away from cinematic enjoyment, it's adding to it.
Yeah.
So if you watch Memento and you know a bit about Hamlet and someone points out the links, you think, oh my God, this has got so many more layers. Whereas what they're going to do with the Odyssey, if you know anything about the Odyssey, all you're going to think is, oh my God, they've butchered it.
Yeah.
So the only people who can truly enjoy the Odyssey, is my prediction as a film, are the people who know nothing about the Odyssey, the epic. And that's the state. That's the state of the culture we're in.
That's the way of it. Yeah. No,
That's
I
going to
fully
be
agree.
the target audience, though. It's not going to be for classic people that read the classics and stuff. Let's face it. It's like Stuart said, it's for the Netflix era. It's for the the Spotify generation. So the worry is that he will dumb it down completely, and then the other worry on top of that is that execs will get involved and they'll push for Oscars and they'll push for we need to strike into the.
Like
what
happened with
Hollywood's doing
Eggers,
to
is it the Northman? Robert Eggers, the Northman.
Yeah.
But James, could I give you a
kind of-
pushback on that? There's a famous quote by Hannah Arendt I've used before on my channel. A great work of art may survive centuries of oblivion. Sorry, a great work of art or literature may survive centuries of oblivion or neglect, but it's doubtful as to whether it can survive an entertaining version of what it has to say.
True.
And that's the problem. If they left Homer alone, so to speak, then
That's a
would
good
be,
film.
That would be safer. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good film. Yeah.
Because it's an original IP. Yeah.
Well, it's
Then you
also
could
There's about
actually
10
do-
sequels to that, though. They made about 10 of those.
But you
Oh, yeah.
couldn't
No,
do
but
Home
shit after
Alone
shit
as
after.
the Iliad. No, not
Home
yet.
Alone.
So it'd be like War. That would be
Yeah.
better than the Odyssey.
But you've also
It
got
would
Peter
too.
Jackson's ethos when he made Lord of the Rings. That you don't want to put any of your own politics in there. You don't want to put any of your own spin on it. You just want to tell it as justly as you can. If he comes at it from that perspective, then I think he could do a good job. And let's face it, the Odyssey, it is a long tale, isn't it? It's an epic poem which is over many verses, and you're not going to be able to do that justice if you don't
Yeah.
take your time with it.
But aren't you missing
But
the point,
Nolan is-
James? So that begs the question: why try?
Well, someone wants to make money out of it ultimately.
Yeah,
I mean, that's
yeah.
the shame
But
of it.
then, I
Yeah.
guarantee, right? Another pushback would be: I guarantee none of this would bother me if it wasn't. You'd get a load of trendy bloody teachers saying, "Oh, go off and see the Odyssey," and because it'll give you a bit of culture. And it's like, no, it will make you less able. Because you've got this weird conception of what the original Odyssey was, it will make it more difficult to appreciate the original.
It's the same ethos that get Stephen Colbert to write a spin-off for Lord of the Rings that they're going to do, and trying to get people into Tolkien via that. It's not going to work, is it? Because it's not going to be ethically anywhere
It's
near
like,
the
it's like the
original.
Amazon series. What was the Amazon Middle-earth series?
Rings
that
of
was like,
Power.
Rings of Power, yeah.
God awful.
But it
And
goes back
that's-
to,
that's-
I've made this
that's a
point on the
complete
channel
rewrite
before. When you see an adult on the train reading Harry Potter, and people, the response is, oh, it's better that people read than don't read at all. No, I'd rather an adult didn't read at all than read a Harry Potter.
Fair
is
enough.
reading. Seriously. It's fine for kids because they're not fully developed. But for an adult to be reading Harry Potter, and this is where I think the numbers in the chat have just shot down.
But again,
Potter.
there's also the new series of that's coming out. It's just like, why make that? That's an absolute cash grab. There's no reason
Money,
to
money,
remake
money.
that. But those films
That's
aren't
it.
even like 20 years old. They're not even 15 years
Yeah.
old, are they? One of them's like
They're not
7 years
They're
old.
not even that great films. I mean, they're
No.
kind of middle of the road, six and a half, 7 on Internet Movie
Yeah.
Database. It's like they're okay kids films, but like you say, it's like
Right, well, what I'm
they
trying
make
to...
money.
I think what I'm trying to point out and moan about and get all emotional about is that given that he's an auteur, I'd agree on that. Given that he's one of the best directors around, I'd agree with that. Why I'm so energized by the whole thing is that all of that skill, talent, and credit in the bank he's got is going to go towards destroying one of the primary foundational texts in Western literature.
You're not going to get any pushback, I think, from me and Stuart, because I completely agree with you. I think that it's not a story that needs to be retold, even, to be honest, and I don't think it's going to be retold for the best of intentions, even. I think it's going to be Christopher Nolan going, I've always, because you guarantee
it's going to be his version, it's going to be his adaptation.
It's going to be something that he's always wanted to do. I guarantee he's always wanted to do this. He's always wanted to do that, and he's probably thinking, well, I'm reaching towards the end of my career, or at least this is the last ditch attempt that Hollywood can support me to do this, because Hollywood's losing money left, right, and centre. They're not going to be around for much longer if they carry on with their current model, and good riddance, really, because it's just, look what they've done to their own industry, let alone what they're going to do to the classics, let alone what they're going to do to Tolkien, let alone what they've done to every IP that everyone's ever loved, Star Wars, etc. And so maybe he's thinking, this is my last chance, but I think he's going to be upset with it because he's not, like Helen of Troy, it is Helen of Troy, isn't it? She's cast by a woman that would not historically be accurate to Helen of Troy. Is it Helen of Troy in the Odyssey? It is, isn't it?
Yeah.
I can't remember who's playing her, but it's like she's not going to be a sort of, fair-skinned. She was blonde, wasn't she, Helena? Or at least I think that's what she's kind of associated or assumed to be. I don't think she's going to be in this. And there's just an awful... I don't think Matt Damon is a particularly good Odysseus. I don't really see him as Odysseus.
Lupita Nyong'o is the Helen of Troy. Yeah.
Could you drag up a picture? Could we do that?
Yeah. I'm just trying to find the image.
Look at me taking over the stream, Paul.
No, I'm just now waiting for the video to get taken down.
I don't mean...
Because of
what
where
I
this
mean
is
is
going.
It's going to... Well, essentially, that is the state of modern Hollywood, though, isn't it? It's like you say, this environment that he's going to be making this film in is going to temper what he can do. And ultimately, as you said earlier, he's not going to be able to strike into the kind of territory that you want him to with this film, because he's going to be like, no, you can't do that. You must do this. You must have this kind of person in this kind of role. You must have this percentage of this. You must have this percentage of that, which is why Hollywood is imploding, because it's restricting itself. And once you start restricting art, we all know what that leads to.
But what's interesting with Hollywood, I mean, not to like digress too much, but from my own kind of like a university experience of learning about cinema, Hollywood always came in waves, and it always reinvented itself through independent cinema. It was always the auteurs that would come through eventually. The whole spectacle side of Hollywood. Like what's it called? Cinerama. Hollywood played in like the 40s, 50s, and 60s with these massive giant screens, 3 projectors and stuff like that. Crazy big spectacle side of things, 3D, etc., etc. And then it crashed. Nobody started going, and it was in the 70s when the kind of new wave directors came through with very gritty, lower budget. The movie brats, that's it. Then in the 80s, you had the kind of the big horror and independent studio explosion. Then in the 90s, again, suddenly you had the Cineplex in the UK. We started getting these big multi-cinema places in the retail parks. And then you had the big spectacle, again, Jurassic Park, True Lies, Total Recall, all this again. And then it crashed off again, and it went back to more underground films. Then again, back
Stuart,
in the
what about
2000s?
the argument that these things go in generational waves, but that's not just within the medium, that's between mediums. So
no, absolutely,
I'd argue ancient Greece, the golden age, was tragic theatre has never been bettered. I've used this argument before, but Elizabethan England was the height of drama. Without the unity of the theatre in terms of time and space, so more imaginative theatre, that was Elizabethan theatre. The novel died, I've argued before, probably it's why I'm keen to do James Joyce's Ulysses. It's probably chronologically the last great novel, or there's an argument for that. If not that particular one, it's roughly the era. Proust, Joyce, this was when the novel, of course novels are still written, but they'll never reach that height again. And maybe what I'm talking about with reference to cinema is the golden age might have been Hitchcock. And you do get recurrent, auteurs will come back, but arguably never again to that
There's only a
level.
high watermark kind of thing.
Yeah.
There's only one point where that medium actually hits the
reaches
pinnacle,
its
so to speak.
absolute potential.
Yeah, before it kind of
And it tends
morphs
to be
into
so.
something else.
I recommended to someone on the channel. Have you seen the French film Le Samurai?
No, but I've heard of it. I haven't
Oh,
watched
you've
it.
got to see it. It's an existential classic, and it's misleading. Le Samurai it starts off with a made-up Buddhist quote, I think, at the beginning. But it's a guy in a trench coat. Is it Alan? I can never remember his name. It's Alan, and his name begins with a D. So I need another Memento post-it note. But
Jean-Pierre Melville
is the director. But
Yeah.
the guy, he was a famous French actor, so famous I can't remember his name.
Alain Delon.
That you go. And
Yep.
he is the most stylish. It's black and white. It starts off, for example, he's sat in this horrible bed sit, and there's a bird cage and a really sad bird chirping and really depressedly. There's only a French bird. It sounds like the French bird has been smoking jetons. And there's sunlight streaming through the window. It's all black and white, and then the camera slowly pans, and you see him lying in bed, and there's smoke coming up. He's smoking into the air.
French
And
and French.
Yeah, the whole film is just. It's
so
French.
stylish. Yeah.
It's like
Garlicky
French, a Frenchman that's overeaten brie and has exploded with more Frenchness. It's absolutely amazing. It is one of my favourite all-time films. But I would argue that was the end point of film noir. So people have
everything after is just pastiche and remix.
Yeah. And at the very end, it's Marshall McLuhan's point about you see the sound barrier being broken. That's when you first see sound, just as you leave it behind. And I think you see the absolute, acme of an artistic medium, just as it's being left behind. And I fear that cinema's already had its heyday.
No, I'm inclined to agree.
I was going to burst into a Queen song then, like Cinema Gaga, and just parody the lyrics.
All we need is Christopher Nolan.
Can someone do a buck teeth impression?
Oh, bless him. Feel Freddy.
No, brilliant.
Taken Too Soon. Oh my god, one of my favorites.
You gotta love a bit of Queen.
Yeah.
Quickly moving
fantastic, guys. Yeah, I'm gonna start singing that.
Right, so has anyone got anything positive to say about making the Odyssey?
Someone's gonna make some money.
Me and Paul have been going through this. Is it going to be good? Is it not going to be good? Is it going to be awful? Is it going to be passable? I've tried to avoid reading as much as possible about it, but something popped up on my YouTube feed. It was Matt Damon. And Matt Damon was going on about the script, and the interviewer said to Matt Damon, "Oh, so Matt, so did you read the Odyssey when you were younger?" And he was a bit like, "Yes, I read the Odyssey when I was younger." Like he blatantly hadn't. He said, "Oh, so how does the Odyssey, this great historical epic, compared to Christopher Nolan's script?" Yeah, the script. Oh, Christopher Nolan's he's got everything in there. He's got everything in the script, and it was just he was just blagging it really badly, and I was thinking like, oh no. Two reasons. One, he wasn't convincing, and secondly, I didn't realize Matt Damon was in the film, and that to me is like, oh, what?
Yeah, but I mean,
yeah.
The only better would no. I think now I'm giving Christopher Nolan tips when they do the Trojan horse. If he ever does that at any point, he should use Keanu Reeves as the most wooden creature that's ever walked the earth.
Johnny Mnemonic, the acting in Johnny Mnemonic, I think that was like peak Keanu Reeves. So bad he's good.
Really?
I have seen bollards with more acting ability than Keanu Reeves.
You didn't love what? What's that film with the surfing? You didn't love that bit where he rolls on his back.
Point Break.
Point Break.
Point Break. Oh, man. I love him. I love him because he's so bad. He's good.
It's the same thing with Nicolas Cage, though, isn't it? Like he is Nicolas Cage. He can't play anything else other than Nicolas Cage. He's got a new show actually coming out.
Nick Cage knows what he's doing. Nick Cage, he's playing it for the laughs. I think Keanu Reeves. I mean, apparently Keanu Reeves is like the nicest guy in the world. He's like the absolute gem of Hollywood, really down to earth guy. But I think his acting style is wooden.
Oh yeah, of course.
Just to say the least. But I think he's not acting wouldn't, Nick Cage acts crazy because that's his thing, but Keanu Reeves is just being Keanu Reeves.
You look slightly like him, Stuart.
Oh, thank you.
You have apparently the same acting ability.
Yeah. Yeah. I've gone from Freddie Mercury to Keanu Reeves. Wow.
You see, I'm waiting for Christopher
Versatile.
Nolan. No, I need Christopher Nolan to make Harold Shipman the movie, and then I can audition.
In
followed
IMAX.
by
I can see that.
Rolf Harris, The Return. And
That's probably
they
not a
would
role
be-
you want to get.
Yeah.
Well, they've got to make these films, haven't they? Or they should.
Yeah, the
Stephen
biopic.
Coogan next.
Yeah, the biopic of Rolf Harris.
First there was Oppenheimer, then there was Rolf Harris.
You can imagine the IMAX camera panning across, and I've got a banjo going, 2 little boys with 2 little toys.
Oh,
And-
God.
Can you see what it is yet?
Yeah. Oh no. In
Until
full,
it's too late
in full IMAX high res glory. You do see what it is, and it's an R-rated movie.
Yeah, you'd really see what it is. That's what you really see.
Right, quickly moving on. Is there
You started it. No, let's hang around a bit. I think we can milk
right
this
in
a
the
bit
chat?
longer.
Are there any other, without being too rude, any other suggestions of films I would suit as a leading role?
Well, somebody did say earlier at P Pants J in Texas, actually, he said, what's worse? I think it's going back to earlier what you were talking about, reading Harry Potter on the train, adults reading, etc.
Bad Santa too.
Bad Santa too. That would be a good one for you. He did say, what's worse, reading trash or doom scrolling? What do you think about that, Paul?
Well, actually, can you define doom scrolling? 'Cause I'm so out of
It's
touch.
basically just losing your life to just scrolling through Instagram, X, whatever, and just seeing how bad life is and just getting overwhelmed by the doom that, our impending doom that is
So
around us.
basically,
Scrolling
the
through
last
the
4 hours of every day I live is...
Yeah, or the conversation we just had for the last hour, maybe.
No, I don't know. You see, this is my point. I'm not against the artistic mediums in their own environment. So I watch more rubbish videos on YouTube than absolutely anyone here. But that's because of what, I've been reading all day, whatever, and it's like now my brain gets a rest. I watch this absolute garbage.
Yeah.
So there's absolutely nothing wrong with recharging by watching. I'm addicted to watching, apologies, Jay, but fat Americans falling over on various videos and, failing, and to balance it up so it's not just
Fail
anti-American. In Britain, our equivalent is drunk people falling over endlessly. And I watch these on a loop all the time because and you'd think it is so stupid that I can laugh with the same enthusiasm after watching the 500th person falling over. But it's true. But my point is, that is what the medium is for. If you forget the fact that I'm trying to do Homer on YouTube.
Yeah, you just covered Hamlet and, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, you're the anti-YouTube.
Well, I'm finding this out on a completely separate note, James, and you'd be happy to join in, Stuart. But I would like to have a chat about the actual way, not technically, but just the cultural influence of the algorithm. Because I'm increasingly finding I'm trying to do what I'm trying to do, and I'm not after the numbers, blah, blah, blah. But the more I find out about YouTube, the more you find out about the algorithm, it actually is soul-destroying. I've seen you did a video, didn't you, slagging off your experience of having a channel.
Yeah, essentially the first year of what I was doing, and the thing is it's driven. It's like everything in the modern era. Like I saw something the other day actually talking about and doom scrolling and endlessly watching stuff online and stuff. I saw somebody talking about dating in the modern era and how like apps like Tinder, they're not designed to help you find the love of your life. They're designed to keep you on the app, so you'll find someone that will drive you back to the app. And yeah, I think that's the same.
What they
kind of
push
experience.
it towards deliberately ugly people.
No, they push you to people that are just they're into free love and happiness, baby. But they don't want you to come back, because they don't win if you get.
They don't
love
want you to get a
and fall in love
partner.
and-
Yeah.
They don't need you back on the platform now.
Because then you don't pay the subscription. They say, "Oh, I found the partner. I don't need the app anymore." So
That's
yeah,
it.
No,
And I think that's
crazy.
the same thing with YouTube. I've just kind of reached, anyone that knows anything about YouTube content creation, I've passed the first level of monetization now, and so the incentive is for me to keep doing things so that I get money in my comments and things like that. People can send me money via comments, and I'm not really like, oh, I must do that, But obviously that is there to incentivize you to keep making video, to keep making content, to keep you on the platform. But the algorithm, from what I can see, kind of rewards you being active on YouTube as well. So the whole thing of a small content creating channel is like, they just want you on the content platform continuously. They just want you to make, content for it. And then if you want to share things on like X, there's ways around it. But obviously if you share a link on your X account to something that's off platform, then X will punish you because you're not sending people to something on their platform, you're sending them off platform. There's loads of stuff like that in the social media era, which is like, for content creators, it's a minefield, but for just society, it's just so dangerous and bad.
Yeah, and to segue into that, why I'm mentioning it, it's not narcissistic, I'd like to have more views, whatever. It really isn't about that. It's about when you actually want to do something that's non-commercial, and maybe this is my stupidity, you're on a commercial channel, but because I don't need the money, I don't need the stats, whatever. But so that's on the one hand, except if you're not doing it for the money, but you want to put literature and stuff out there for people, you do want, without ruining what you're doing and dumbing it down, you want as many people to see it as possible. Otherwise, what's the point of doing it?
Yeah.
And there are so many built-in anti-literature trends within the algorithm, or anything serious, that this is what I'm saying. And this links to Christopher Nolan, because he's doing basically the Hollywood director's expectations or the algorithm he's working under. And it's your point, James, about the wider aspects of all this. It is this totalitarian algorithmic behavior that is affecting absolutely everyone. And why I was drawn to trying to do something about literature on YouTube, ironically, it's Homer the original is the last refuge of non-commodified values. And when Homer itself is turned into a blockbuster IMAX film, where is left?
Yeah.
This is what genuinely scares me. And this is before AI has really, really taken off. It's not looking good.
No. And now you've got AI teachers in school, which is starting in July or whatever over here, that kind of thing. Yeah. Which is just, the real problem I have with it is like, technology marches on and it does what it needs to do, and the algorithm does what it needs to do, because ultimately it's a business and it's trying to make as much profit as possible, not necessarily survive, but make as much profit as possible. Fair enough, whatever. But who's really asking to be dumbed down and for life to be just squashed and squeezed, and for everyone to be put in like nicely confined boxes of this is who you are, this is what you like, this is what you want, and now with AI, you're not even in that box anymore. The onus is going to be on you to generate whatever content you want based on, the most mundane, boring version of what's already been done, and it's like plagiarism. It's just not going to be good for us. There's nothing good about this kind of social media is bad enough, but you can find things. You can find, if you get lucky, you can find things that help you in your life.
Like the video I sent to you two earlier.
Yeah, that was brilliant. You need to put that in the link. You need to link that video. Yeah. But what I mean is that you can find a gem, even if it just makes you laugh.
James, but what was the name of that? It was
Quentin Smurhis.
Quentin, is it Quentin? I'm a
Quentin
train.
Smurhis, yeah.
Put it in the chat.
Video.
Put a link in the chat. Everyone will love it.
I can't read it for some reason, because I don't think the sound plays, does it? I'm just bringing it up. Quentin, I'm a train.
No, because for people in the chat or watching this, if you can check out, if you're feeling a bit low at any point in your life, you need to watch this video. And it's the type of thing, it's the redeeming feature of YouTube.
Yeah.
Could you just get a picture of it?
I'm bringing it up now, yeah.
But this is what I mean.
Christopher Nolan dreams about being at this level of authorship.
This level of impact, this level of love. No, can't see anything on mine.
There you go. Well, you've got it. You just need to bring it up now, yeah.
Just need to bring it on the screen, yeah. That's the stage. There we go.
There we go.
You won't be able to hear the sound, but
it's this kind of content that you used to get in the early days of the internet.
This is old school, yeah, weird.
You know what I mean? Like, did you ever check out Rather Good?
To give people context, he's singing What's the tune to it? I'm a train.
I'm a train. Look at me. I'm a train.
Choo-choo.
Look at him. Look at me. Look at me. I'm a train.
This is so
But they used to like this. This is like reaching back to the old school internet. when it
analog
first came
slop.
about.
Yeah,
Yeah,
this is
analog
this
slop,
is- homemade slop. It's
Yeah,
like
but to be
great.
serious for a second, you know, in Britain we've had all these very heated discussions about immigration and stuff, and on the back of that, what are British values? What is it to be British? I honestly think that if you actually watch that Quentin video and don't find it funny, you don't deserve British citizenship. Because truly that
British
is
eccentric. Yeah, the British eccentric is to me
that is
the-
British humour. A man in white
British humour,
fronts and
yeah.
a polo neck singing I'm a train. Well, he's miming. It's the King Singers, isn't it?
He's like,
And for those that don't know,
I'm a train.
the King Singers were this really high-pitched falsetto male, with the women as well, but it was basically a Cambridge University type a cappella group singing nauseatingly, pompously cultured songs in a high-pitched whine. And he's miming to that. I'm a train imitating a dog, secreting its anal glands on the floor. It's absolute British comedy at its best.
Any of you two ever heard of Roland the Farter?
Yeah.
His
No,
story. Was it Henry?
surprisingly, Stuart.
Oh, I'm surprised.
You'll love it,
Oh,
Paul.
a man
You'll
of
love it.
culture, he says. A man of culture. Was it James? Remind me. Was it Henry II or it was one of the? I think it was one of the
Oh
Henrys.
God.
He was a court jester. It was basically one of his court jesters, one of the old kings.
Yeah.
Could make him. He was a flatulist. He could make himself fart on demand.
Yeah.
And I'm going to find out
God.
which Henry it was.
I
And
think I saw some Tony Robinson talking about this on YouTube.
Yeah, it was
popped
on
up
one of the
the
history
other day.
things.
Brilliant. It's crazy how. I mean, I've heard about him before that, but it's crazy how like
medieval English flatulist, Henry II. Yeah. So basically, Henry II thought this was the funniest thing ever. So he basically gave him a title and a load of land. And I think he said his job officially had a contract, and I think the contract's in one of the archives in Oxford or Cambridge or something like that. And the contract was he got all this land and a title, and all he had to do was a jump, a fart, and a whistle at the same time every Christmas Day or something like that for Henry.
I would have thought with a medieval diet, this was a very dangerous thing to be doing.
a lot of candles around as well, I imagine. And yeah.
But
not a
no,
good
there was a French
the
flatulist
fire
as
in
well
London,
in
we now
19th
know
century.
what caused it.
Oh, that's yeah.
But quickly moving on, is there?
No,
No,
more
we're not
facts.
moving on from flatulence. It's not happening.
We're not moving on. This is where the channel should be, Paul. This is where you get your clicks and your views.
Hey, it's a historical channel now, all right?
Yeah, we've gone from Nolan to the Odyssey to farts throughout the history.
You do have a pathological need, Stuart, to lower the tone. May I
I
say that?
really do. I absolutely do. It's my
Because
my
I am
sensibility.
like an amateur. I'm like a dilettante. I sometimes lower the tone, but it's like the air you breathe. You need to lower the tone.
the air I breathe, literally. Yeah.
Yeah, and James is
flatulent
just
air that you breathe
James
in.
is easily led. James is like the type of kid at school who do naughty
He was,
stuff.
yeah, got to do that
Everybody
naughty
else
thing.
was.
Yeah.
The
I'll
one
give you
leaning
sweet
over
if
the
you do that
shoulder.
naughty thing.
Yeah, you've got no.
Do it, yeah.
James has got no moral agency whatsoever. So
Definitely not.
you are Teddy in Memento. He desperately tries to grab this back online.
Just
But
keep it
you
down.
are Teddy because you are manipulative, but you have some aim in mind.
Were
Yeah,
you not
some
Teddy
naughty
to
aim.
begin with? We've switched roles. What's
No,
going
he
on?
tried to
switch
say I'm
roles,
Teddy.
yeah.
I'm forgetful and senile, so I'm
Oh.
Leonard.
Yeah,
And
you're
you're
Leonard.
Natalie.
I'm
You're
Teddy.
Natalie the barmaid.
I was going to say I've switched. I was Natalie. What's
No,
going
no,
on
I'm
with
saying
that?
Stuart. Oh, God,
Oh,
this
he's
is
gone back now.
like special.
No,
You said I
needs,
was
this.
earlier.
This is like Memento. Like, where are we? What's going on?
What's going on? We're all over
Let's
the place.
rewind. Let's go backwards and rewind the video and find out. who's
Anyway, I was going to start the charge of showing how what a subtle film it is. You remember the bit where Leonard is remembering when he was an insurance broker and he tells the story of how he decided that Sammy Jankis's condition was mental, not physical. And he gives them a psychological test where these objects are electrocuted, one of them. So if he picks it up, even if it was a physical condition, his somatic response would eventually condition him to avoid the thing that was giving him pain.
Yeah.
But because he still keeps picking it up and giving exactly the same response, he determines that it's a psychological condition. But what's interesting in that is, I think if you look at the film again, he does the same thing 3 times in exactly the frame by frame same way. And the implication is that it is a figment of Leonard's deliberate imagination. He's trying to make excuses for himself. And he's basically replicated it in his own mind 3 times. And it wasn't Sammy who did that.
We get this in Inception as well. You know more, Paul, from your background in psychoanalysis. The repression of guilt in Inception. So it's actually from memory. I haven't seen Inception for a while, but from memory, the Mal character, the evil wife who lives in his mind.
Sorry to interrupt there, Stuart. For anyone who's married, at least one of those words was redundant.
Yeah.
Okay, so his missus. So from memory, she commits suicide.
I'm not saying anything
because of too much time they spend in the dream world, or the world that it's based on. But he has the guilt. There's some specific reason why he is guilty. He feels guilty that he was the one who caused her suicide. But then the memory of her in his mind, the Cobb character, Leonardo DiCaprio, then throughout the film, the memory of her is she's like this malicious person. She caused it. She did it. So he's convinced himself in his mind that it wasn't his fault. And I think that's similar to what you're getting at, Paul, with this thing in Memento. It's that we repress tragedy, we repress bad things that have happened to us, and we rejig them in our minds. So it wasn't me. It wasn't my fault. It couldn't have been me. And that's another theme. Yeah, it's good that you mentioned it. It's another theme that we see. We see it in Inception as well, that the guilt of leaving his daughter. I'm trying to think what it was in Tenet as well. Probably it's not in Tenet, but yeah, definitely in Inception and Interstellar as well.
Well, one of the things I'd say about Inception, similarly, it's ages since I watched it, but
Yeah, same.
I do remember there are links to Virgil's The Aeneid.
Yeah.
But it's done subtly. And
It's
again, because the whole film Inception is not an attempt to recreate the Aeneid, then I think, well, good on you. I'm sorry to repeat myself, but it's just going back to trying to replicate the whole of the Odyssey, which you'll never do, is doomed to failure. Whereas when you do this illusion, you allude to things. I think it just works much, much better.
Subtlety and homage.
No, the other thing, I'm just looking for links now with Hamlet because, again, to give you an example of the subtlety, if you think about it, you could argue, I know it's a revenge, but it's like Hamlet, the play, is a revenge play, as you said, Stuart. But actually, it actually plays with the genre. And again, I think this is when Christopher Nolan's at his best, when he takes an accepted genre and does something special with it. So Shakespeare took Hamlet in Elizabethan times, there was a really genre-specific tragedy, then the audience had expectations of how it would go. And he plays around with that. So all the classic tragic elements where loads of killing happens is at the very end. Whereas in your normal tragedy play, they would happen more evenly spaced. So there would be violence or there would be revenge, whereas that's almost in Hamlet as an afterthought. And you could argue that in Memento, it's actually, yes, it's about revenge, but it's actually about Leonard not coming to terms with the fact he had a pretty crap marriage.
Yeah.
And in Hamlet, when the ghost comes to speak to Hamlet, Hamlet Senior speaks to Hamlet Junior. It's interesting, you talked earlier about the post-it notes and externalizing your memory. Hamlet talks about my tablets, ironically, given modern day tablets. And he says, I have to write down what the ghost tells me. And he writes it down, but he almost immediately gets it wrong. So I think the ghost says adieu, adieu, adieu 3 times, and Hamlet only writes it down twice. But also the whole punch of what the ghost is saying is, your uncle murdered me, sort him out for me. Whereas Hamlet, when he writes down, I think he calls his mother Gertrude, that pestilent woman. So he takes it to be about his mother, which is very Freudian, but basically the failure of their marriage to his father. So Hamlet, in some ways, is about failed marriage, or it's about Hamlet's inability. And I think Hamlet at one stage says to Ophelia, we won't talk about marriage. So it's sometimes it's alluded to in various ways. But I find that really, really interesting that behind these genres are actually layers of what the film, you could argue, really is about. And when
Yep.
you talked about Leonard being in denial, I think it's in denial about how good the relationship was with his wife.
Yeah,
And there are
absolutely.
little things, so I don't mean to be lookist, like who am I to start that? But it says my wife was beautiful, and then you see the actress, and it's like, yeah. She's not unattractive, she's an actress, but not top drawer. And yet, so he's idealized his whole marriage.
Yeah, yeah.
And then he actually lets slip, doesn't he? Like, I hated when my wife called me Lenny. And then the only thing that you see any dialogue between them is when she's reading a book. And she seems a bit, what's the word? Because she's reading the same, battered paperback endlessly. And you can tell he's frustrated with their lack of imagination that she reads the same book again and again and again. So the marriage, you never see them particularly happy, do you?
No. It's this. There's a sense of dissatisfaction. It's almost the book is like an analogy for like, oh, the same thing over and over again. This is boring. I'm not satisfied. I'm not happy.
And do you remember the black and white image where she's lying next to him and she's stroking him, and on his chest, I think, have I got this wrong? I hope I haven't. He's always said, when I do it, I'll write, I'll tattoo, I have done it in the middle. And that's the only time you see the tattoo, I have done it, is in this imaginary scenario with his wife. When the only time they look really affectionate.
Yeah.
When the rest of the time, the where it should say I have done it, that area of the tattoo on his chest hasn't been filled in.
It's not been done yet. Yeah.
And then there's it's the irony that when he looks in the mirror, he has to look in the mirror. In other words, he has to look at himself to read the tattoo, because it's done backwards, like the word ambulance when you're in a car and you're looking in your rear view mirror. So he's forced to look at himself in the mirror, which I think is metaphorical, in order to read the tattoo.
Yep.
There's so many layers, which is why it's, and I just fear again and again and again, there aren't going to be these layers in this film, The Odyssey.
No, I agree. It's not, the thing is it's not really, it's just not suited to a film either. And I know Nolan is, Oppenheimer, 3.5 hours long or whatever it is. So he's not scared to make that kind of length. But I just think in the kind of Netflix world that we're in, it would probably be better suited to a series, from a purely filmmaking, not to, make any comment on, the quality or how it could be told. But in this modern era where we have episodic films, and like 24 of them, HBO style back in the day, it sort of lends itself more to that, really, in terms of like length and how you could pick apart the certain verses in the Odyssey. But I just don't think it should be made, and I don't think I'm going to be nudged off that position, and I don't think either of you are really trying to nudge me off it either. I think we're all in agreement that it certainly feels like
it's going to be its own
choice.
thing. Yeah, it's going to be its own thing. I mean, it's interesting. I just remember something that you mentioned before, James, about Lord of the Rings. Now, I think let's forget about the Hobbit trilogy. I think they're borderline abominations. But the original, I was like, what?
We are
what
sponsored today. This talk is sponsored by the Abomination Corporation. We've all used that word about 5 times.
A Bomb Corp. What I liked about Lord of the Rings was the extended editions, and Peter Jackson's been very coy about, what is his preferred version. He said, okay, well, the cinematic version, the theatrical version, or whatever, is the definitive versions. But then you have these extended editions. I only own the extended editions on Blu-ray because that to me is the definitive edition. I think it's like 10 hours, the full runtime altogether is like 10 hours. And it was a ritual basically, but back in the day, back at university, I would put them on that whole 10 hours on a Sunday, a bit hungover, night out, you sit down and you watch the whole 10 hours. And there's something about that. It's like binge watching a big film, but there was basically, because he had that extra time in the space where he could expand on the world a bit. I think it made it quite authentic. But obviously, with this whole IMAX thing, with this obsession with IMAX, the absolute limit of IMAX is 3 hours for an IMAX film. They had to 3D print extensions for the reel trays with Oppenheimer. So Oppenheimer is, I think it must be just shy of 3 hours, but they had to actually physically modify. Now these cameras cost millions and millions. These projectors, cost millions of pounds. So he's limited by 3 hours, and the Odyssey must be approaching Lord of the Rings, the 3 books, in terms of content and depth and stuff like that. So I mean, absolutely, there's no physical way. There's not going to be an extended edition of this. This is going to be 3 hours. Can you imagine 20 hours on IMAX 1570 film stock? It's going to be its own
sorry
thing.
to interrupt. I think that there are 24 books, and there's approximately 500 lines per book if you average it out.
Yeah.
So it's about, I think it's 12,000 lines of poetry. So I'm going to do at least 24 videos. I'm going to try and do a video per book. So I'm going to have to limit my level of commentary. But just reading it out physically would probably take 45 minutes a book without any commentary. So do the math. You're talking about just reading it alone as 20 hours. Just reading it out loud properly.
Yeah, which again, you could probably do it better as a series, but why would you? Genuinely, why would you?
Yeah, now you're really depressing me, James. So, Odyssey,
well, the thing is when was the last time there was I mean, I don't go to the theater.
Odyssey, the animated series.
But yeah, looking forward.
Can you
to
imagine it in 80s like cartoon style, like the Odyssey?
Thundercat style.
He's gonna fight for what's right. Telemachus by his side. Oh. It's gonna be like just absolutely terrible 20-minute episodes. Yeah, but it would be quite funny.
Can we get Jeff Wayne to do the theme tune?
Yeah, if anyone's really good at AI generation, these stupid AI videos, that would be monetized. That would definitely like.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Right. Well, I want to finish because I've been itching to use this quote from Hamlet. But then I was going to ask you. So think you can just look glazed-eyed as I read this out, and then you can be thinking. I'm wondering what you got to say about any of his other films, like The Prestige.
We haven't mentioned that yet.
I haven't really watched many of his later films, but I vaguely remember enjoying The Prestige. Except I can't really stand Michael Caine.
You know, David Bowie was in it.
Never changes, yeah.
Bowie's in it, yeah. He plays Tesla.
Bowie's in it, yeah.
But I'll never forget, I think it was Michael Caine was in Zulu. And he was like, well, you stop throwing those bloody spears. It's always the same accent.
Yeah, he's like the racist.
Yeah.
Was he a colonel or something in Zulu? He's like,
it's like Sean O'Connor. Sean Connery. He was in a Russian sub. And he's a Russian commander in the Navy.
Red October,
and he's got his Edinburgh accent. He never changes. What about he was in The Untouchables. He's supposed to be an Irish policeman. You'd think, go on, Sean. Try the Irish accent. No, he's a Scottish-Irish policeman.
Bit of a guilty pleasure of mine, The Untouchables, though.
Can I just say, for the reputation of Michael Caine, The Ipcress File is a classic, and Get Carter.
Get Carter all the way.
Is an absolute badass film. Even today,
he says something in Get Carter, doesn't he say something like, sit down, don't even try it. You're fat, and I do this for a living.
Yeah, that's right.
No, he really works on it. Because he's supposed to be from He's supposed to be from Newcastle in the film. He's like a Newcastle gangster.
Oh, a bit of dissension in the chat. Someone saying Zulu is literally the only movie where he does change his accent.
Kind of. He goes a bit posh. He goes a bit posh in The Bridge Too Far as well, doesn't he? A little bit.
Yeah, I'll have to rewatch it.
I say, move off. When on my command.
I say, you're bloody
bunch of slags.
You bunch of blags.
He must have had a Cockney phrase slipped in though.
Yeah. He was,
yeah, probably almost certainly. I mean, bringing that back, Michael Caine to the Batman. Christopher Nolan films. I mean, I know you earlier, Stu, you said we weren't allowed to mention them. The only one that I would say,
no, they're just different. They're not bad films. They're their own things. I think.
I think.
Thank you, Nate. You're a big man, but you're out of shape. And doesn't he say,
big man, but you're out of shape?
But I do this for a living.
Yeah.
I'm desperate to know whether I've just imagined. I'm sure he says, "No, I do this for a living."
Yeah.
Because I made a big impression on me. Otherwise, I've just completely imagined it all these years.
No, I'm pretty certain he does.
I just remember all the Welsh bashing in that film. All the Welsh boys in the film are just getting constant abuse in Zulu.
Oh yeah, someone said the Distant Tribe, the one with Sean Connery, because he wore basically leather speedos in one film, didn't he? Or is that my imagination?
Zardoz.
It's just your imagination.
Oh no. seriously. There's a film he's like flying around. He's wearing leather jokes.
I'll have to get my leather speedos out tonight.
Zardoz.
Send a picture.
I'm gonna find a picture. Yeah, here it is.
What,
I'll
Paul
send
and
it,
his Speedos?
James, I mentioned it in the
Oh, here
comments.
we
I've
go.
had to stop going swimming because I keep getting followed around with a bloke with a peg leg and a harpoon.
Can
That's
you
me
see
at the
it?
minute.
There
I've
you
got
go.
Pictures over there.
That's a mankini.
Lovely,
It
lovely.
really is.
That's Borat before Borat was a
That
thing.
is
It
that
really
is
is
that is
very,
pre Borat.
Yeah.
Nice.
Zardoz.
Lovely. Look at that.
Hey, baby.
It looks cold, doesn't it? It does look cold
It
there.
does. Yeah.
It's cold that day.
He's Scottish though. He can handle it.
Yeah, true.
Weird film. That is definitely a cult classic.
Right, should we just tell the chat to bugger off and we'll look at Sean Connery and his speedos for
Yeah.
the next half hour?
I think we should. We should do a live watch.
Anyway, very quickly, there was Hamlet says to Laertes, "By the image of my cause, I see the portraiture of his." So he's killed Laertes' father Polonius, and he's such a narcissist. He's saying, by his cause, in other words, Laertes is pissed off with him. Guess why? Because he's killed his father. And he says, through him, I see the portraiture, in other words, the imitation of my grief. And that's the projection you were talking earlier, Stuart, about delusion. That's what Leonard's doing with Sammy Jankis.
Yeah, I get you now. No, I that's something that slipped past my mind.
Yeah, he's projecting on it. He sees through as the so-called story of Sammy Jankis to his own situation.
Yeah.
But that's why it is such a clever film. So anyway, there's other films. What do you think of The Prestige?
Brilliant. That was my favorite for a long time, and I think it's definitely in the top 3.
Mm-hmm. Good film. Really good film.
Yeah.
It was on iPlayer, and I meant to watch it, and I think it's gone off iPlayer now. But that's a fascinating anecdote I've just said.
Yeah, brilliant. I'm glad you brought that one up.
No.
Shall we now spend the next 5 minutes me describing all the films I watched too late and they've been taken off?
No.
Or you haven't seen, but you nearly did, but you just
I nearly saw it,
skipped
but I
past that
didn't.
one. Forgot about it.
Cool story,
about
bro.
Oh. No, it's a really good film. It's really worth watching.
I think Inception was. I think Prestige still had
very
some
good.
kind of merit to it. Inception was the point where he kind of disappeared up his backside with that the high concept. That's operating on 2 different levels. You have very clever time-related plot and the whole subjectivity and false memories and blah blah blah. But then you have the spectacle for the Netflix crew. It's just like, oh wow, a big explosion. Oh wow, someone's getting shot. Blah blah blah. And I think that's the point where the big blockbuster kind of element comes in a bit. And I think from your perspective, correct me if I'm wrong, Paul, but this is where it gets polluted. As in, you don't need this spectacle to do the incredibly complex time-related, subjectivity-related plot lines that he's really interested in. The spectacle, in a sense, maybe take something away from the purity of a film like Memento or The Prestige. I mean, the Prestige has got a higher budget than Memento, and it's got some really good special effects, but I don't think it takes it away from the plot. I don't think it's too distracting.
So what about his, because I haven't watched his later stuff. Did he do Dunkirk?
Yeah, I saw that in the IMAX in Bradford. I actually saw that was the only one I've seen of his actually in IMAX, and it was the loudest experience of my life. We just came out like couldn't hear a thing. Brilliant film. I mean, like I love anything World War II, and especially like all the
but
fights.
apparently, am I right saying, according to Nolan, the British didn't actually fight on Dunkirk beaches?
I think I
Isn't it
don't
only
remember.
American garrisons went in, according to Nolan?
Yeah, I don't remember.
That was always a
You don't
criticism
remember.
my
You
old
watched the
man
whole
had.
bloody film.
Well, I don't think we actually see the fighting on the beaches. I think the only beach
You got the
scene we
RAF
have, you got the RAF, and then I vaguely remember someone in a tank. Did they end up
Or
in a
I might be
tank or
mixing
something
up
like
films
that?
now.
Or a ship.
I seem
That
to
was
remember there was
something-
definitely a blockbuster film all about Dunkirk, and there were no British soldiers.
Well, there's
Actually, no,
definitely
I'm
something-
thinking. Sorry, I'm an idiot.
No.
I'm having a
was-
Leonard moment. I was thinking
was
of
that
Saving Private Ryan.
Are you
Oh,
sure
yeah.
you're not thinking about Band of Brothers?
No, Saving Private Ryan. They come to Dunkirk, and
That's
it's only Americans. And I'm very grateful for how America helped us, but
Oh, I'm gonna have to
by
tread
that
on your
stage we had
toes.
lost an awful lot of people.
Yeah.
Dunkirk's not in Saving Private Ryan. It's Omaha
Isn't it?
Beach.
Omaha,
Normandy.
sorry.
That'd be West America.
I think you mean, and it's a common complaint about Band of Brothers, because all you ever see of British soldiers is them at a checkpoint going, "In you go then, off you
Hello.
brave American heroes."
Yeah, jolly good show, chaps.
And there's one bit
Onward,
in the first
bound.
episode, I think it's the first episode, where they're dressed up as Jerrys, and they're like, "Hello, chaps, we're dressed up as Jerrys, so you Americans can get a look at them. Hey, there we are."
Oh, honest Tommy. Why?
Yeah.
Well, what about that most poignant line in film? Take me, I can see. Remember that from The Great Escape? One of the British soldiers is completely blind, and they're trying to escape Colditz.
So
And
long since I've seen
he's
that.
bumping into
It's
walls.
not
saying-
Colditz.
What is it?
Stalag 19, isn't it?
Oh, they're all the same. Anyway,
No, they're not. Colditz is a castle.
no, he actually says, but I don't know. I'm remembering the important bit. Stop being
Are you?
fixated, you know.
I don't
Yes,
remember that line.
the important bit. What do you mean? He's blind as a bat.
I know that. Yeah, I
He
can't
keeps
remember the
walking
character's
into
name.
walls, and he says,
Yeah.
"Take me, I can see." That's a brilliant line.
Yeah, no, I think I'm trying to remember that line.
And then the guy gets arrested, doesn't he? Because he says "thank you" in English.
Yeah, you go, cheers. Or yeah, thank you. Yeah.
Which again is a cultural thing, because an American wouldn't be so polite. An American just go, "Nah." Whereas English people, say thank you,
Oh,
thank you.
thank you so much.
Thank you, thank you.
And that's what
Let
did
me hold
for
the door
him.
for
He
you.
actually, he gets captured again because he says thank you.
Is that?
Because he's so honest and British.
Doesn't he get killed? Doesn't he get killed?
Yeah, I think he does for saying
He does
thank
get
you.
killed. No, they're running away, aren't they? Oh God, I haven't seen The Great Escape in
Yeah,
literally years.
I've not seen that yet. Probably in about a couple of decades.
Yeah. It's a Christmas classic, and I don't tend to
Yeah.
watch things on Christmas Day anymore.
That's right.
Right. Well, I think we've come to a standstill.
Yeah.
Any last questions in the comments?
I haven't seen any, but if we've got any, time to drop them in the comments.
But, Jay said, the US wasn't in World War II at the time of Dunkirk, which is very true.
Yeah, I am
It's
Lenin
private-
this
private
evening.
right.
1940,
yeah.
isn't
I've
it?
got Colditz.
1940.
I've got Colditz confused. I've got Dunkirk confused, and I think I threw in Omaha Beach as well, which is a complete irrelevancy.
No,
It's
Omaha,
been
that's
a
the same
long
private
day.
You got Omaha right.
Onward to the
You got
Guinea.
right.
Yeah, no, the ghost of Guinness is calling me, and I will.
AK the toilet.
That's the thin brown line, surely.
Oh, stop it, you
With a
two. What am
wide
I
brown
being
line.
asked here? Can you please cover book and movie of Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas?
Oh, I'll do that.
I would love
Yeah,
to
that's
do
one of
that.
that's one of my favorite
I
books of all
haven't read
time.
that. I haven't read it in years.
That's
I
Hunter
haven't
S.
seen it in
Thompson,
years.
isn't it?
Hunter S.
Yeah.
Thompson. Yeah, I was obsessed with that guy.
Could
Absolutely
do,
obsessed.
what was the
With my
follow-up
formative
one
years.
they did? What was the follow-up
Fear
one
and
they did?
Loathing on the Campaign Trail.
No, I'm talking about the film that they made.
Oh,
Johnny-
Well,
it's
it's depressing. It's
Gilliam.
Nicolas Cage, isn't it?
They did a remake of Fear and
no,
Loathing.
Johnny Depp. No, they didn't do a remake. They did the follow-up, the sequel. I think actually it was a prequel.
Oh, the Rum Diaries.
Yes, that's the one. I
Yeah,
quite
yeah,
like that
yeah.
as well.
That's
Am I
okay
getting?
film,
I
yeah.
am. I'm seriously. I think I've had a stroke because
I
I'm
think you
thinking
have,
Fear
sir.
and Loathing. No, Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. What's the
Johnny
one with
Depp.
Las Vegas in the title with
Leaving
Nicolas
Las
Cage?
Vegas.
Leaving Las
Show,
Vegas.
That's
Showgirls.
great. We could do that one as well. That's great. Leaving Las
Right.
Vegas
So
is great.
basically now I'm getting about one word in every 3 per title, and that is a success. That's my hit rate at the moment.
Okay, we'll give you that. We'll give you that. We'll
No,
keep you on
honestly,
that par.
can you check? Can you give me any cognitive tests while we're live to see whether I actually have
Pull up
stroked
an
out?
online
No.
IQ test to see if they work.
Pour the Guinness. The Guinness reserves are low. It's like the Strait of Hormuz. It's what's the Nigerian Strait? The delivery from Nigeria is not getting through. Like you need to mainline that as soon as it arrives.
Right. Well, hey,
Yes.
this has been. Would you ever
Re-
consider a video about the misery, drudgery, or general state of UK higher education? We could do a joint one, couldn't we, Stuart?
I would love to talk about higher education because it's
It's atrocious. It's just, but it's a bit busman's holiday for us, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a difficult one because we would just be agreeing with each other and just saying like, yeah, what I mean, yeah, there's news reports every day. If anyone wants to know about UK higher education, yeah, but
Just
Fear
UK
and Loathing.
education in general, really. It's just UK in general, isn't it?
Why don't we could do? We could actually do. We could do a podcast. Fear and loathing in British higher
In
education.
higher education.
That'd be good. That'd be good. Just take a load
Yeah.
of drugs and just see how you go.
By Professor S. Thompson.
Professor G. Innes.
Right, it's getting silly now. Oh,
is,
someone
yeah.
said, Nate said, my grandfather served on the last ship that left Dunkirk, the HMS Shikari. Oh, wow.
That's really good. Actually, there's a YouTube video genre where people are interviewing World War II veterans. It's kind of like a memorative, and some of the stories
But it's so
incredible.
depressing. People
No, it is,
for what we've become now.
Yeah.
It's heartbreaking. It really is. You're going to get me crying.
Depressing.
No, it really will. It probably
It's
set me off,
depressing,
mate.
yeah.
To be honest. It's just not right. And even like the
Built
World War
differently in those days.
Yeah, there's some really good World War One testimonials as well, which are really worth watching. There's a really famous one with a bloke on British television in the 70s. He's a machine gunner.
Yeah,
He's talking about mowing people down, and it's just brutal. It's absolutely brutal. Really worth
Just
watching.
lost
You'll
an
find it on
arm, and it's
YouTube.
like, would you like a cup of tea?
that's it.
I think he's a
Yeah,
Cockney
really good
as well.
chap, Yeah, patch yourself
You
up.
set a
And off you go again. Yeah.
Shouldn't choke.
Yeah.
Bless him.
What was, just very quickly before we go, what was that fantastic World War One film? Was it 1919? No, it was 1917 or 16 or something.
That's
Who-
Peter
who was
Jackson,
the-
isn't it?
Who was the director? I don't think it's Peter Jackson. Was it that guy, the one who did Children of Men, the one who loves the long takes?
Yes.
Because the whole film's like one
God.
long take. Is it Cuarón, the Mexican director?
Sam Mendes.
Was it Sam Mendes, the director? I was thinking it's someone
Right, you
else.
two are turning into amnesiac nerds. I want my chili con carne.
I'm sorry.
We'll do a different video on that one then.
Yeah, we'll do a different nerd. Amnesiac nerds reunited.
You are now entering the nerd zone.
Right, well, thank you, everybody. That was wonderful.
That was a
and
good one. Yeah. And nobody
Yes.
fell out. Everyone's
Thoroughly
happy.
enjoyed myself.
Jay, you can go
says-
for a wee now.
I think he already has.
I went ages ago. I just did
He's
it.
on the toilet.
Yeah.
on his phone.
I think Jay just sits there with his adult diapers and. Yeah. Anyway, on that note, thanks, Jay. All the very best and see you soon. Take care.
Bye, everybody.
Guys. Bye.
He's gone.
He's fucking
We're still live and he's bugging off.
live. and
What's
he's-
going on? We're still live, Paul. Come back.
Paul, come back. You need to stop the video.
You gotta press stop, Paul.
He's coming back.
Quick, do a dance, Stuart. Do a dance. Do something.
You have to press stop.
You gotta
Paul.
press
Oh,
stop.
I'm an idiot.
Paul.
I pressed the leave.
You just buggered off.
No.
Oh, well.
Best ending ever.
Yeah.
I have
it
to say
wouldn't-
bye again now. Bye,
Is
everybody.
that called
everybody.
is that bathos or anticlimactic or
It's definitely Bathos.
the story of my life? Well, let's try again and I'll press the right button.
One
Yeah.
more time.
All right. Bye,
This has been
everyone.
wonderful. Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, bye.